Hello, this is Ruth Hollingshead, trustee for Sight for Wight, welcoming you to this week's Talking News.
Sight for Wight Talking News for Friday the 10th of July 2020.
Alison, reading an article entitled Isle of Wight Council owned playgrounds to reopen from Saturday. Families are being urged to stay alert while children are using playground equipment and to observe social distancing rules. The guidance comes as the Isle of Wight Council reopens, from Saturday the 11th of July, its playgrounds for the first time since the start of lockdown. To support the move, the Council has launched a poster campaign and produced a video for social media, providing advice on how families can stay safe while having fun. Council leader Dave Stewart said, "We want families to have fun and enjoy our play parks, but at the same time we must respect and follow the guidance to protect ourselves and others from the virus. I know many families will be looking forward to using our play areas again, but people must continue to follow the guidance on social distancing and hand washing to help protect our community from COVID-19. Playgrounds have been closed since March because they were considered to be higher risk places for people to pass on the virus. But with further lockdown restrictions eased by government, play areas are now allowed to reopen. People are being urged to take notice of posters on display in all 25 council play parks, reminding families of the current guidance to help keep everyone safe. These include: if you or anyone in your family are showing symptoms of COVID-19, do not enter the play area. Remember to socially distance from people who are outside your bubble. People are advised to wipe equipment before and after use. It is not possible for the council to clean the equipment on a regular basis. Wash or sanitize your hands before and after using the play area, and try not to touch your face while playing. If the park is crowded, do not enter if you cannot stay a safe distance from others. Refrain from eating and drinking in the play area. People are also asked to dispose of their litter and dog waste in the bins provided, or take it home.
This is Brian reading an article from the Island Echo. Families say thank you after missing man found 10 miles from home. A large-scale search for missing freshwater man Dennis Steele ended on a positive note last night, Tuesday, when he was found safe and well in Newport. Mr. Steele, who went missing from his home at Brambles Chine, was last seen at around 6 p.m. Due to his dementia and diabetes, Dennis was deemed to be a high-risk missing person, prompting police, Wight Search and Rescue and the National Police Air Service helicopter to launch a search in the West Wight. Locals have told Island Echo that Dennis was seen walking up Monk's Lane towards the main road at around 6:30 p.m. It is understood he then caught a bus without a face mask and without paying and travelled into the heart of Newport, some 10 miles from his home. An eagle-eyed member of the public spotted the 79-year-old in Honey Hill and was able to take him to nearby St Mary's Hospital, an appropriate place of safety. Dennis was cared for by staff and given a cup of tea and a pack of biscuits. Alastair Steele, Dennis's son, has taken to social media to say, "I can't start to thank everybody that helped tonight. Dad is very confused and somehow managed to get a bus with no mask or money, and someone who recognised him from the Facebook post got him to the hospital."
This is Chris reading an article from the Island Observer. Island recycling shortlisted for national awards. The Isle of Wight Council has been shortlisted in 2 categories at the annual MRW, Materials Recycling World, National Recycling Awards, which takes place in December. The first nomination is for the Campaign of the Year, up to £20,000 for the highly effective communications campaign to improve recycling at holiday lets across the island. The second shortlisted category is for public-private sector category for partnership excellence, for a project delivered in 2019 between the Council and Amy. In 2019, the island was the first twin stream mechanical treatment plant in the UK to process dry mixed recycling, like paper and card, food waste and, most excitingly, enabling dirty recycling to be extracted from the black bin waste that has been incorrectly disposed of. The MRW National Recycling Awards 2020 brings together over 700 recycling and waste management professionals and key players to recognise and celebrate best practice and innovation in recycling and waste management. The Council's Strategic Manager for Waste and Environment, Natasha Dix, said, "To be shortlisted for 2 national recycling awards for our work to maximise recycling on the island is an honour and testament to the hard work and determination of our officers, our partner Amy, and most of all, the huge enthusiasm for recycling of our residents and visitors to join with us to achieve this." Cabinet Member for Procurement, Waste Management and Special Projects, Steve Hastings, said, "The Isle of Wight Council continues its aim to be a national leader in recycling and waste resource management. And I would like to thank residents and visitors to holiday lets for taking on board the reduce, reuse and recycle message to help us as an island in our aim to improve recycling rates across the island. We have achieved a great amount by working together with Amy, and to be shortlisted together is testament to the partnership we have. The shortlisted finalists are being invited to participate in a COVID-19 safe way at the awards on Tuesday the 15th of December 2020 at the London Hilton on Park Lane.
Hello, this is Steve reading a story from the Isle of Wight Observer, headlined "Cycle Racer Recovers from Horrific Injury." White Mountain cycle racing team member Pete Moore has returned to riding on the roads once again 6 months after a horrific accident. Pete broke his hip and his femur in 3 places after being cut up by a car and landing on a stone curb while riding on Gunville Road near Newport in December. He required major surgery to repair the damage, involving a titanium rod being inserted from knee to hip and a large screw from the rod into the ball of his hip joint. The recovery began to gradually rebuild mobility and strength. After 6 weeks, he received the welcome news that the bones were sitting in good position and had started the process of fusing back together. He said, "Up until then, I had been mentally very low, with all the uncertainty of not knowing if surgery was successful or not. To be given that positive news, though, was like flicking a switch back on, knowing that, with lots of hard graft, it was hopefully just a matter of time." Pete's daily routine of physio involved a lot of painful mobility, strength building and flexibility exercise. He said, but determination to return to cycling and later getting back to working as a self-employed mechanic was the positive force driving the recovery on at a rapid pace. At the beginning of March, Pete got back on the bike on a fixed turbo trainer, doing 20 minutes of gentle pedalling daily for the first week. Gradually, he increased the time until, by the end of the 6th week, he was up to 1 hour and 30 minutes, along with daily body weight squats, stretching and other exercises. By mid-April, he was back out on the road on gentle rides, but this month he has been stepping things up. He added, "I have now achieved probably around 90% of my previous level of fitness and strength on the bike. I am hopeful of a return to some racing probably next year, as this year's calendar is so unsure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In the meantime, I really can't thank the NHS, my surgeon and the nursing team enough for the fantastic care and the positive outcome they have given me after the horrendous injuries sustained."
This is Den reading from the Island Echo. Police launching Youth Independent Advisory Group on the Isle of Wight. Hampshire Constabulary is launching a Youth Independent Advisory Group, the IAG, on the Isle of Wight to give young people on the island the opportunity to question policing practices and review the work done with major investigations, incidents and issues that impact the local community. Those aged between 14 and 25 years old are encouraged to take part in the new project and review, challenge and scrutinise the police's work on specific investigations and local policing protocol. PCSO Steve Hull and Inspector Adam Henderson Parish will be the force's representatives and will organise the group. Inspector Henderson Parish said, "Engagement with young people is important for Hampshire Constabulary in order for us to learn how we can more effectively engage with different communities, people and groups. We want to learn what younger people think of what we do, how we do it, and take on their advice to track, learn and improve our processes." The team of young volunteers will be asked to meet up to 6 times a year and may be asked to help officers with investigations and work outside of normal hours if needed. Expenses will be paid to those who have to travel. They will also have the opportunity to accompany officers out on duty and share their views with them and the rest of the team. PCSO Hull said, "You don't need any qualifications or experience. Your opinion and willingness is enough. We want your valuable insight and advice. That's it." Being part of the Youth IAG will give you first-hand insight into policing, investigations and the community, and will also provide a platform for you to develop your skills for your CV and future career. To apply, visit www.hampshire.police.uk//careers/independent-advisory-groups/ Applicants should hear back from police within 4 weeks of submitting an application. Unsuccessful applicants will still be able to attend focus groups, complete online surveys and provide their opinions on local policing. If you want to get involved in helping us review our work, but you don't want to commit to the group, you can find more information by contacting PCSO Hull at youthiag.iowhampshire.pnn.police.uk.
This is an article from the Island Echo, read by Terry. Beauty salons, swimming pools and gyms can start to reopen again. The government has announced that businesses such as beauty salons, swimming pools and indoor gyms can finally reopen following the COVID-19 lockdown. Outdoor swimming pools and other outdoor facilities can reopen from this Saturday, but indoor gyms, sports facilities and swimming pools won't reopen until the 25th of July. Visitors will be encouraged to shower and change at home where possible, although changing rooms will remain open. Beauty salons, nail bars, tattooists and tanning shops will be able to reopen from Monday the 13th of July, but facial treatments are still not permitted. Outdoor theatre and music performances can also resume from this weekend, but audiences must be socially distant with restricted numbers. There is good news for sports fans too, with local club cricket also able to resume from this Saturday. Limited numbers of spectators will be allowed, but clubhouse bars will be open, subject to social distancing rules. Gerald Vernon Jackson, chair of the local government association's Culture, Tourism and Sport Board, has said, "It is great news that gyms and leisure centres can reopen, and many people will be hugely excited about being able to safely visit them again. Being active is crucial to the fight against obesity, inactivity and poor mental health, and we know that the lockdown has increased physical inactivity. Many leisure providers are in serious financial jeopardy as a result of months of lockdown and the expensive cost of maintaining closed facilities, particularly those with swimming pools. Although able to access the job retention scheme, they have had very little other financial support, and a financial support package is needed to stabilise them. Having had to furlough staff and faced with uncertainty about when they might be able to reopen, providers have been unable to prepare. This means it may take a bit of time to reopen some facilities in line with government guidance and to ensure the right measures in place to maintaining social distancing and safe use. They will no doubt move as fast as they can to reopen. Residents should keep an eye on council websites and social media channels to find out when their local leisure facilities are open.
This is an article from the County Press, read by Sue. Cannabis plants and noise complaints. Cops under investigation. Noise nuisance complaints relating to an area of privately owned woodland in Wootton has led to visits by the police and the Isle of Wight Council. Woodhouse copse, usage of which has been controversial, is subject to an ongoing investigation. Cannabis plants were found to be growing there, and fresh reports have been made about alleged illegal activity taking place at the site. An Isle of Wight police spokesperson said, "I can confirm we attended the woodland on June the 25th to assist the planning authority and environmental health. While there, we located 10 immature cannabis plants in the woodland, and these were seized and destroyed. No arrests have been made in relation to this." A spokesperson for the Isle of Wight Council said that the site at Woodhouse Copse has in the past been contentious. An enforcement notice was served on the landowner in 2014 by the Isle of Wight Council, which resulted in a conviction and a fine. In response to fresh reports about illegal activity on the land, officers from the Planning Authority, Environmental Health and Police subsequently visited the site. An investigation is ongoing, and because of this no further details can currently be given. A local resident told the County Press, "I feel sorry for the nearby residents as it has been going on so long."
This is Brian reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Passenger in fatal Woodhull motorcycle crash remains critical but stable. A passenger left fighting for her life following a fatal motorcycle crash last week has been described as in a critical but stable condition 1 week on. A 62-year-old motorcyclist has died after a serious collision near Whitwell last Wednesday night. He has not been named. The passenger, a 58-year-old woman, was taken to Southampton General Hospital with life-threatening injuries. Isle of Wight police said this week she was critical but stable. The accident happened at the junction of Southford Lane and Newport Road. The pair were on a green Kawasaki motorcycle when it was in collision with a yellow Volkswagen Transporter. Witnesses and anyone with information are being sought by police. If you can help, call phone 101 and quote the reference 442002 41182.
This is Chris reading an article from On the Wight. Live music, theatre, dance and more now permitted if outdoors and with socially distanced audiences. Welcome news for music lovers, theatre goers and those working in the performing arts this week, as Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden announces that with a socially distant audience, performing arts can now take place outdoors from Saturday the 11th of July. This means that outdoor theatres, opera, dance and music can resume from Saturday, so long as they take place outside and with a limited and socially distant audience. The 5-stage roadmap. The guidance follows the government's first 5-stage roadmap outlining how we will get audiences back into performing arts venues. It provides advice on all aspects of performance, from casting, sound and lighting, costume and fitting, to cloakrooms, orchestra pits, hair and makeup. Singing and the playing of brass and wind instruments will be permitted in a managed and controlled professional working environment to minimise risk. Measures to be followed. The guidance makes clear that the following measures should be considered to allow for safe resumption of performances. A reduction in venue capacity and limited ticket sales to ensure social distancing can be maintained. All tickets must be purchased online and venues are encouraged to move towards e-ticketing for help with track and trace. Venues should have clearly communicated social distancing marking in place in areas where queues form and adopt a limited entry approach. Increased deep cleaning of auditoriums. Performances should be scheduled to allow sufficient time to undertake deep cleaning before the next audience arrives. Singing and the playing of brass and wind instruments in groups or in front of an audience is limited to professionals only. Performers, conductors, musicians must observe social distancing whenever possible. Indoor venues. The government say they will also work with the sector to pilot a number of small indoor performances with a social distanced audience to help inform plans about how best to get indoor venues back up and running. Protected from demolition. A change in planning rules will also mean theatres, concert halls and live music performance venues will be protected from demolition or change of use by developers. stopping those that have been made temporarily vacant during lockdown disappearing altogether, and giving extra security to these businesses as they start to reopen. Stages of the phased return. The 5 stages of the phased return to professional performing arts is as follows. Stage 1. Rehearsal and training. No audiences and adhering to social distancing guidelines. Stage 2. Performances for broadcast and recording purposes, adhering to social distancing guidelines. Stage 3. Performances outdoors with an audience plus pilots for indoor performances with a limited distance audience from July the 11th. We will now also work with the sector to get small pilots started as soon as possible, and will set out further details in due course. Stage 4. Performances allowed indoors, outdoors, but with a limited distance audience indoors. Stage 5. Performances allowed indoors, outdoors, with a fuller audience indoors.
Hi everyone, this is Steve reading a story from the Island Observer, headlined Isle of Wight to stage finale of 2022 Tour of Britain. The Isle of Wight is set to host the finale of an international sporting spectacle, promising a multi-million-pound boost to the local economy. Isle of Wight Council leader Dave Stewart signed the agreement on Saturday the 4th of July that will bring Britain's biggest cycle race, the Tour of Britain, to our shores in September 2022. To mark the occasion, a team of 8 cyclists set off from Ryde on the Great Tour, a 6,700 kilometre, 64-day cycle ride around the coast of Britain, raising money for a variety of health charities. Among the riders were Tour of Britain Managing Director Hugh Roberts, former professional cyclist Pippa York, and singer-songwriter and producer Andrew Ridgeley of Wham fame. Councillor Stewart said, "Securing the Tour of Britain is a major coup for the island and is just what is needed to help boost the local economy after the devastating impact of coronavirus. This is a wonderful opportunity to showcase the stunning landscapes of the island to an international audience, attracting spectators locally and from afar to enjoy world-class cycling. This event will support our economy through hotel stays or spending money in local shops and businesses. Just as the Isle of Wight is synonymous with sailing, so too I hope we can become a mecca for all things cycling, with Tour of Britain and other exciting cycling events in the pipeline. The tour regularly attracts the world's top cyclists, including Olympic and world champions and Tour de France winners, who compete over 8 days each September in the UCI Pro Series event. A single stage can attract upwards of 150,000 spectators and generate the equivalent of £1.2 million in free advertising, with free-to-air live TV coverage on ITV4 and Eurosport in the UK and around the world. Organisers Sweet Sport and the Council are also jointly exploring other opportunities in cycling for 2021 as a build-up to September 2022, when the island will become the focus of the cycling world. Stephen Park, Performance Director for the Great Britain Cycling Team, said, "The Isle of Wight is well known for its sailing heritage, and it's also a brilliant place to ride a bike, thanks to the unique and distinctive coastline and scenery, so I know the stage will be a landmark event in 2022's sporting summer. While we will all miss watching this year's Tour of Britain, it is great to see the organisers break new ground with a first trip to the island." The island is no stranger to hosting cycle races. The Pro-Am Cross Europe Sea Link International Stage Race in 1983, the Isle of Wight Classic in 1985, and the Tour Series in 2015 have all taken place. Although 2022's Tour stage will be the biggest sporting event ever to take place on its roads. With its mix of stunning landscapes and gruelling terrain, Councillor Wayne Whittle, Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Business Development, said the island would provide a spectacular finale to the tour. He said, "The tour series was a huge success when it came to Ryde 4 years ago, and the Tour of Britain promises to be even bigger and involve the whole island. Estimates from other councils staging similar stages have shown up to a 40% increase in visitor numbers and a £4 million economic boost to their local economy. Add to this the legacy of support for our island cycling ambitions, and it really is good news at a time when we need it most." To give some scale to the event, the organisers will provide more than 40 motorcycle outriders to ensure safe rolling road closures for the event convoy. The cyclists are internationally recognised professionals, and together with their individual support teams, will themselves require up to 400 bed spaces. Holding the final stage of the event is expected to cost about £340,000. The council said it hoped to meet most of the cost through sponsorship and had already agreed to appoint a third party to secure the funding. Councillor Whittle added, "This is a brilliant opportunity for local businesses and organisations to get their name out there as part of Britain's premier road cycling event, and we will be working with them to maximise the local, national and international exposure this event can create."
Alison, reading an article entitled "Passengers will no longer be allowed to stay in their vehicles on cross-Solent ferries." From Monday the 13th of July 2020, all passengers travelling on both Wight Links and Red Funnels car ferry services will be asked to leave their vehicles after embarkation and spend the journey in the passenger lounges or outside sundeck, with a couple of exceptions. An agreement with the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency to allow people to stay in their cars was made on a temporary basis and on account of low passenger numbers at the beginning of the pandemic. Wight Link customers will be directed to leave their vehicles with effect from Monday. When Wight Link's Lymington-Yarmouth route resumes on Friday the 17th of July, passengers will also vacate their vehicles after embarkation and spend the crossing in the lounges. Red Funnel says the transition back to standard vehicle sailings will come in 2 phases. The first, effective Monday the 13th of July, will see the 1500 departure from Southampton and the 1630 departure from East Cowes revert to standard crossings. The 2100 departure from Southampton and 2230 departure from East Cowes will remain as stay-in-vehicle sailings until the 31st of July, with all crossings returning to the original format from the 1st of August 2020. Everyone over the age of 11 will have to wear face coverings during the journey, as this is a legal requirement on public transport.
This is Brian reading a letter to the editor of the Isle of Wight County Press. Noise pollution shatters dream of green future for our island, from Mike Harvey, East Cowes. All the effort the NHS has gone to protect us the last few months has been brilliant. Now we're committed to building back a more green environment. Apparently not on the island. Noise, noise, noise everywhere. We should be committed to bring back how it should be on the island. Not only greener, but noise reductions on our streets. I'm a retired scientist from Public Health England, and one of the proposed projects was to look at the effects of noise on our health. The island was the first to trial a COVID-19 app. Can it be first to be a more environmentally aware and pleasant place to live? Otherwise, what's the point?
A letter to the editor of the County Press. Clap for our teachers and other lockdown heroes. From Bruno Gradi of Wootton. During the lockdown, it became a weekly tradition for the nation to publicly recognise the efforts of NHS workers fighting the coronavirus pandemic. I gladly join this national habit each Thursday evening, though I have a confession to make. I clap to show my appreciation for our teachers too. At this unprecedented time, they are expected to do their job through new, untried methods full of obstacles, difficulties and technical snags. Have they ever been helped to prepare for such a scenario? Never. Do they perform beyond expectations? Absolutely. I also clap the food worker and Sam from Tesco Express, who puts the box of my breakfast cereal on the shelf, and the farmer lady, Sharon, with her family, who makes sure fresh eggs are available every morning at their gate. And I clap the courier, who delivered the part this morning I needed to fix my car, and our mailman, who came every day so sharp we could use him to set our watches. Also Drew, with his little orange van, who offers great coffee at the parking lot that helps us stay awake. And Vet, Olivier, who is always ready to see us within half an hour when the dog has digestive issues, and the lady at the garage, who looks like a hippie, whom without we would really be stuck at home. Then there is the friendly garbage truck man who comes every Monday to take away our trash. Not to mention the lady with the chirping voice at Nationwide, who answered my call within a minute when I had to cancel my lost credit card. I clap them all, because they are all people we really could not do without.
This is Howard recording news from Site for Wight. Whilst the recent restrictions have meant that physical travel has been difficult, it has seen a rise in the use of virtual meetings, such as Zoom, GoToMeeting, and Teams. Through the use of these online tools, our staff, volunteers, and trustees have been able to take part in meetings and listen to talks delivered by other sight loss charities and organisations across the whole of the UK, from Croydon to Northern Ireland. We have been liaising with other groups to talk about they've made online communication more accessible, as well as potentially developing their telephone befriending and digital services. The use of online meetings has also enabled Sight for Wight to begin working in partnership with other island charities alongside the council to start to develop a long-term strategy that ensures island residents can stay connected and informed. Whilst we cannot give a definite date for reopening Millbrook House or resuming our face-to-face services, we do continue to provide regular welfare calls to any members who request them, and our audio library is now operating. The phones are manned during office hours to answer any queries you may have about living with sight loss, so please don't hesitate to get in touch on 522205.
Hello, this is Sue, reading from some news from the St Mary's Hospital website. Community Music Project gives birthday thanks to NHS Angels. Students from Platform 1 College of Music on the Isle of Wight have recorded a charity song in lockdown to thank key workers, including NHS staff, for all their efforts during the COVID-19 outbreak. The Newport-based college teamed up with other local performers to record a version of Robbie Williams' hit Angels. Proceeds from the project will go towards the island's NHS charity to benefit St Mary's Hospital and its patients. Platform 1 organised the project after an approach from sponsors Whitelink through its Whitelink in the Community initiative. Staff were keen to work with their sponsored partners to look at collaborative ways to show appreciation for island keyed workers' hard work. Musicians from the Isle of Wight Symphony Orchestra and Fusion Arts Academy joined Platform 1 students in submitting home-recorded segments of the song. Its launch coincides with the 72nd birthday of the NHS this Sunday, the 5th of July, and as the nation and NHS workers prepare to clap as a hashtag Thank You Together, recognising everyone who has played their part in the coronavirus crisis. David Ponton of Platform 1 said, "This has been an incredible project and an opportunity to genuinely thank all key workers. We are really proud of the efforts and energy of the numerous musicians who contributed. Lockdown has been an extremely busy time for Platform 1 students and staff who all went to working remotely. Students have responded in a mature and positive way and produced some fantastic outcomes. The Angels project will be a fitting reminder of the times we have experienced. The Platform 1 musicians who recorded the song were BTEC Level 2 and Level 3 BTEC students, BA Honours Commercial Music Degree students and MA Music Industry Innovation and Enterprise students. They were joined by Wight sponsored performers from Fusion Arts Academy and the Isle of Wight Symphony Orchestra. Dave Russell of Wight Media Services produced a video to accompany the song. Maggie Oldham, Chief Executive at Isle of Wight NHS Trust, and a Robbie Williams fan, said a heartfelt thank you to all involved in what is not only a beautiful and professional recording, but also an enduring gesture that will be warmly received by all those working in and supportive of the NHS as we celebrate the services. 72nd birthday. We would also like to use this opportunity to extend our thanks to everyone without whom the NHS wouldn't have been able to respond to coronavirus. It is fitting that the NHS, which relies on the support of so many individuals, groups and organisations, has been recognised by a recording project that also has collaboration at its very heart. Joanna Wiley from Fusion Arts Academy said, "It has been a privilege to be involved with this wonderful collaboration between ourselves, Wightlink and Platform 1 College of Music. To have a focus and to feel sense of achievement during these difficult and unpredictable times has been a lifeline to many of our performers in our Fusion Arts, White Notes and Sounds Lively choirs." Stuart James, Wightlink Director of Marketing and Innovation, said, "We were delighted that Platform 1 has taken an idea and turned it into such a memorial tribute to the island's key workers and NHS staff. Platform 1 and our Wightlink in the community network is just brimming with talent, and this is a wonderful project that we are proud to be associated with." The song was arranged by Andy Booth and also featured internationally renowned bass guitarist John Thorne. It was scored by Mark Chettle and mixed and mastered by Steve Colley. All are degree lecturers at Platform 1. The recording was enabled after licensing permission was given to Platform 1 by Universal Music Publishing and the artists Robbie Williams and Guy Chambers. Advice from St Mary's Hospital for anyone attending an appointment. 1. Make sure you have a suitable face covering that you can wear to your appointment. It should cover your nose and mouth, and you should be able to breathe comfortably. 2. Please arrive at the time of your appointment is scheduled. Please do not come early. This will help us maintain social distancing measures. 3. As we continue to try and limit the number of people visiting our hospitals, you will need to attend your appointment unaccompanied. However, there are a few examples where patients are allowed to bring a chaperone with them, including if the patient is a child, they need physical assistance. 4. If you or anyone in your household have experienced symptoms of coronavirus in the last 14 days, please do not attend your appointment unless you have confirmed it is safe to do so with the relevant department.
Sight for Wight would like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Talking News. We would also like to thank our volunteers for reading, and a particular thank you to the Isle of Wight County Press, Isle of Wight Observer, On the Wight, Island Echo and St Mary's Hospital website. A special thank you must go to Vectis Radio, who has helped us get vital information to our members.